I really did like that, right? But you and I both know that that wasn't the blue cassette. I don't know if you're colourblind, maybe, but come on. It's not difficult to put the blue cassette in the player. Hello and welcome to Africa, a much overlooked continent with a bunch of fantastic contenders for your viewing pleasure. First, we're going to the hotly contested Nile Region, where 10 leaders put themselves up for voting. And our winner is Hatshepsut, as head of, obviously, the Egyptians. This woman likes trade and big buildings, so she's really not that different from the average pharaoh. She spared no expense to fund the expedition to Ta-Natir, and the crew is very prolific at making trade relations happen and finding all those ancient treasures. Traders love this and will set up their business ventures whenever the opportunity arises. Thebes is located far down the river, where the going is still good, but will probably not be the most important city of this empire. While certainly set up to be a powerhouse, well protected by mountains, naval cities will be the stars of Hatshepsut's empire. Merchant barges bring good news, good gold, and good goods. The rarest gems, fabrics, sculptures, and fruit. The contents of these vessels will fill everyone with joy. Business will be booming, and people with riches are known to find each other highly attractive, if you catch my drift. Egyptians like to be buried in style, and people love seeing their elaborate burial tombs. In fact, they'll worship them. These structures are treasure troves coveted by many a grave robber, so they're always gonna have a good incentive to go and get some plunder. Moving on to East and South Africa, where no less than 3 civilizations await us. The first one of the bunch is South Africa, under the venerable Nelson Mandela, who will bring peace, prosperity, and world domination to his people once more. He is the head of a rainbow nation, and this diversity gives him massive international influence because, as a legal expert, he knows how to get it. He also loves other people, especially his smaller friends, and will invite them over frequently. Cape Town is, of course, right at the Cape, and will form an important gateway between the Atlantic and Indian Oceans. Well protected by mountains, it'll have to establish itself to the north, but definitely has the potential to field a formidable navy, if nothing else. Fengu gunners are Nelson Mandela's promise to his little friends in need. He will protect them, and these troops are trained especially for that purpose. Little known fact, they are recruited almost exclusively from road makers. Safari parks are a great way to showcase the stunning natural gifts of your nation, and tourists will come from far and wide to see them, bringing in mountains of cash. Once Mandela gets a grip of how to run these properly, they'll be even more efficient. But there's more leaders where that one came from, or at least from the same general region, which is quite enormous. The dervishes under Mohammed Hassan, the Mad Mullah, who I've personally found to be pretty chill actually. He's formed the Horn Resistance and fosters frequent meetings between architects and writers, promising both permanence in exchange for greatness. Additionally, his riders know secrets nobody else ever will. Tale isn't in the greatest spot on the Horn, but with smart resource management it could become a military menace, dominating at least parts of the Indian Ocean. There's a lot of place outside the desert to be raced to, so we can hope they go for that. Mara Wine are not your regular riders. They can shoot at planes, and that requires skill. Sure, they may not be as great as their mechanized counterparts, but once they've dug in, they're much harder to hit too. With a little bit of good literature, these men will clear up the skies in no time. The Calcat isn't a perfect ford, but that's on purpose. Recruits are supposed to feel spiritually enlightened here, driving their will to study and train harder. As far as I've heard, this works very well. And finally, for Southeastern Africa, we have another leader for you. Nyathsimba Mutota of the Zimbabwe, who's living proof that going out to the store real quick for salt can turn into an adventure with lasting consequences. He's formed the Totemic League, controlling and manoeuvring a complex system of aristocratic clans and always forming new ones to keep the old in check. Pretty great when all of them bring something to the table. The city of Great Zimbabwe could not be in a better location. It's well protected, surrounded by fertile lands, can easily gain access to the sea, and then has the entire island of Madagascar to colonise. If this doesn't turn out well, I don't know what will. The Gano Axeman is a very astute observer and grasps new concepts quicker than any other soldier. He'll even learn from abstract lessons like breeding and land expansion. You might say that Zimbabwe is not a very great castle, but you'd be wrong. It's how you use it, not how it looks. And this one is defended by money and diplomacy. This is a fortress of business and all the nice things that come with it. We move on to the Gulf Sahel region, where 2 leaders out of 5 have made the cut. The first of them is Ebuare, the leader of Benin. This man is nothing if not a great innovator, unafraid to try out new things if he deems them appropriate. He's got the shield of the warrior king to defend himself, and also all of his people. He understands the importance of defensive structures, and will make sure his troops are supplied as best as possible. Ubini is in an amazing position. Sure, there's desert to the north, but the east, west and south are all ripe with opportunity. Direct sea access also means he will be almost uncontested in the building of his navy, so look out for that. The Isian Mwenro is a manoeuvring expert, capable of marching further than anyone. You don't want to expose your weak spots to him, because he'll exploit them without quarrels. Iyas are brilliant fortifications, so long as you don't put them on anything valuable. The walls can be easily defended, and traders and artisans will love them, not just for their protection. The other great people of this region of the world are the Kasanye, under Kasanye Kalunga, a man shrouded in mystery, but definitely impressive looking. He has the Quilombo, which will replenish his workforce early and often, sometimes from the cities he's taken. He'll also make the best use of pre-existing diplomatic ties when it comes to trade. He starts out in a spot supreme for discoveries, surrounded by life. Sure, the jungles may be difficult to walk sometimes, but their existence will not be a major hindrance and become a massive boon in the future. Gonzos take it slow and steady, but they can kick down even the biggest walls in the process. They also learn from the young, which is a bit odd, but they always say that children have a special wisdom, don't they? Mavalas are really quick, so much so that they'll get
For the best cidre and fantastic wine, visit Napoleon's bar. Original French cuisine, cheese made in-house, and our famous Babylonian Burgundy. None of our menu items come from replicators, everything is real here. Visit Napoleon's bar, deck 34, aftwärts Starboard Plaza.
The fuck was that? Was that you, Attila? You playing a prank on me, mate? No? Well, get your cables in order, eh? We got some leaders to announce here. Finally, we move to North Africa, where there's one civilization waiting for action. Genserich's Vandals, who went from nobodies to raiders supreme in a single lifetime. They are Mediterranean pirates, highly skilled sailors that will raid your cities and terrorize your coasts. They're also great demolitionists and ravenous plunderers, so hide your gemstones. Hippo Regis is not a hippopotamus, but a city sat in a great spot if you want to become the new pirate king. Good access to the Mediterranean, protection from the south, and even some solid ground to grow food. We'll see what comes out of this place. The Alan cavalry rides hard and fast, and will pull the mules, people and their belongings with them. These men are tough, and they don't care about the weather, the plague or speed bumps in the road. Results are the only thing that matter. If you want to be a big shot pirate, you've got to invest, and you've got to do it early. What you get from that is the Trihemiola, which is designed to be used by elite boarding parties and crews who know how to hit what they're shooting at. Finally, we get to the one solitary nation state in Africa, and that one is the Songhai River Lords, with their specialised cavalry capable of raiding your settlements and making off with the spoils. Thank you for listening to the leader announcements for Africa. I'm Robert the Bruce, coming to you straight from the submarine studio, hoping to see you again soon. We off then? Yeah, great. You know, I talked to Fulgencio at Napoleon's yesterday with a camera thing I took out of the ceiling. You know what he said? He said that he recognised it from, and I quote, shady characters you want nothing to do with. Said it was a wee drone for remote operations, whatever that means. I'm getting a bad feeling about all this, to be honest. The whole process too. Strange orders from up high, all the stress. I haven't seen MK.III for weeks. Just hope everything pans out well at this point.